Om. So all of us are very intelligent and we all know what is what. We are all well educated. So all of us know that the mind creates problems and we want to control the mind. But we are unable to. Even though we want to, we are unable to. That is why in the scriptures we have been given a particular system of spiritual practices across religions. You have been handed over, this is what you have to do to control your mind, to control your body, to go near God. And one important practice which Sri Ramakrishna says is enough itself. It is enough for this age, Kali Yuga. And what is that? Practice of truthfulness. And that is the area where we all fail. Mostly people fail. It is very easy for a person not to speak the truth than to speak the truth. So nowadays it is quite common to see people who don't know what is truth. In fact, they are so confused. They speak so many false things. They speak so many lies that truth, lie, everything has got confused in lives. And it has become a second nature to become a liar, to speak lies. So why does that happen? Why should we speak the truth? If someone were to ask, why should I speak the truth? And also we are very good in quoting things to our own convenience. So usually people quote one shloka which is not from the Vedas, which is not from the scriptures, but which is from a dharma shastra, a social code. Even that shloka they quote only half. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat. So you have to speak the truth, but you have to speak it sweetly. They forget the next line, which is Ma bruyat satyam apriyam. That is the third quarter of the sentence. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, ma bruyat, satyam apriyam, priyam api nandritam bruyat. That people don't quote. That even if it is sweet, never speak untruthful things. Never speak a lie. Esha dharma sanatana. So people also quote Holy Mother. She said, don't call a lame person a lame person. So the context is different. When you know that a person is disabled, so somebody, we know, we understand that that person has not read much. So you ask that person, oh, have you not read this? So belittling a person. Somebody doesn't have money, you poke that. Somebody is not does not have good physical looks, you poke that. So that is what Holy Mother means when she says that don't call a person a lame person a lame. Don't say that you are a lame person, because that hurts. But she never says that don't speak the truth. Then we say that in Mahabharata also, this famous incident of Ashwathama Hatah. So because Mahabharata, untruth was spoken so many times, for the benefit of people, sometimes we have to speak untruth. All this is absurd. All this is foolish. People, if you have to be in spiritual life, you have to decide what you have to do. If you come to spiritual life and quote Chanakya's Niti, if you come to spiritual life and quote Arthashastra, that is absurd and meaningless and fruitless. Why? Because Chanakya was not a spiritual luminary. He was an expert in administration and political science. So first you have to set your priorities right. First you have to know what you are supposed to do. If you are wanting to progress in spiritual life, then you have to take answers, take solutions from spiritual texts and spiritual giants, not from people like. So Chanakya has said that honest people are like straight trees, and crooked people are like trees which are not straight. And what happens? Whenever a person has to cut tree, first they go for the straight trees. So honest people are always victimized. So don't be honest. That is the idea. But that is a political thing, and that political thing we need not follow. As what is the first criteria? One of the first criteria, even preliminary requisite, qualification to become a spiritual aspirant, arjavam, straightforwardness. Rani Rasmani was thinking something while she was sitting in front of God. And Sri Ramakrishna came to know of this and he went and slapped Rani Rasmani. So, now who can think of such a thing? Because he is truthful and he doesn't want such things to happen. That is why he slapped. But had Sri Ramakrishna not practiced what he himself preached, Rani Rasmani would not have taken that. But because she saw that this person is 100% genuine, this person is 100% truthful, and so she did not tell anything. She did not do anything. In fact, she was ashamed. She said that I am sorry that I did such a thing. I thought of something else, worldly things, when I am sitting in front of God, where I am supposed to think of God when I am offering my prayers. Because the person was truthful. So this truthfulness is so very important in our spiritual life, and that is where we do mistakes. Our idea about spiritual life is generally that we have to do some worship, we have to do so many number of japa, we have to, always study scriptures. All these things are all secondary. All these things are secondary. First you have to be established in truth. Why is that important? Yesterday we were talking about Sat, existence. So existence means that which exists always. In the past it has existed, now in the present it is existing, and in the future also it will exist. Something which is existing beyond space, time and causation. That is called Sat, existence. And that existence is the only truth. What is truth? Truth can be truth only when it does not change in time. It does not change in time. Suppose I have an apple, say. I keep it here, and after some hours the apple's condition starts deteriorating. After some days it gets rotten. So is the apple true? It is true, but it is not true in time. When there was apple 5 days back, after 1 week there is no more apple. There is only some rotten mass of something. So that apple is no more existing. Similarly with the body. When we were young, small kids, then we look different. Now what we do? We have a class photo and then we say, Dhundo, where am I? So that you say. Then you put it in Facebook and you make one circle and say, this is me. Because it is difficult to know, not very easy to identify you. Then you become old. Then you were thinking that I am so beautiful, so handsome, and then all that goes away. You become old. So this body changes. So this body is not true. So why should we be truthful? Because that is our nature. We are true not in the sense of the body, not in the sense of the mind, but in the sense of consciousness. So we have to be truthful. And what does truthfulness mean? There have been different commentaries on the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads by many people. And if you follow even all of them, they don't differ regarding the definition of truth. They differ only in the interpretation of the scripture as regarding whether there is dualism, whether there is non-dualism, Dvaita or Advaita or Vishishta Advaita according to Ramanuja. They differ only in this. They don't differ in what is truth or even in other moral practices like Ahimsa, Brahmacharya and also. What is truth? Shankaracharya says in many places, in the Bhagavad Gita he says, what is truth? To understand and act according to what you have seen and what you have understood and what you have heard or read. So what you have understood. Sri Ramakrishna says that you cannot do trickery or you cannot do thieving in your understanding. Bhaver gore churi. Means you cannot bhaver gore churi. So you cannot churi or you cannot do trickery in bhaver ghor or in your ethos, in your understanding, in your feeling. You cannot do trickery. So what you have understood to be true, what you have heard, read or seen to be true, that is the truth and that you have to represent. Why is this important? Because now say if you have not realized God and you see something. So in its essence it is not true. This world is not true. It is not true. But you see this and you understand this to be this. I see a bag kept there. So I understand that a bag of that color is kept there. When I see that, then if somebody were to ask me that at 7:45 this morning, did you see any bag which was there with some embroidery or something? So I will say yes, I saw a bag. But this is not the absolute truth. But I saw it and I understand that I saw a bag. So I have to say that I saw a bag. So that is why Shankaracharya defines truth as what you see. Again, sense organs are not real. They are going to wither away. They are going to be destroyed after some time. But what you have seen and what you have heard and what you have understood to be true. You talk with a person and you believe because the person himself has told or somebody else has told that the person has such and such business. Later on it is found that there is no business. But if you were to be asked by anyone that does such a person has such business, then you will say yes, that person has this business. By saying so, you will not be telling lie because you believe that that person has a business. That is what you believe. And the opposite also is true. If you believe that somebody has done something but there is no evidence, and now we make so much of this evidence, there is no evidence that the person has done this thing, but you know that the person has done this thing, then truthfulness is to say or to constantly maintain that this person has done this thing, though there may be no evidence, though you cannot prove, etc. So it's not a question of proving or something, but what you believe to be true and what you know to be true, what you have heard or understood to be true, that you have to follow and that you have to maintain. How will you follow? When you will think according to this truth. When you will speak the same truth. And when you will act based on this truth. Only truthfulness, if somebody practices and does not practice anything, does not do japa, does not study philosophy, does not pray to God, just by practicing truthfulness, the person can attain the same reality which a person will attain by doing so-called spiritual practices. Why? Because truthfulness will take you to the ultimate reality. Practicing, that is why Sri Ramakrishna says that in this age of Kali or Kali Yuga, you don't need anything but you just practice truthfulness. And that is where we are failing. You see, everywhere.
जैसे फिर जैसे जैसे समझ बढ़ती है, उम्र बढ़ती है, तो उसी हिसाब से फिर उनकी जो समझ बदलेगी तो उसी हिसाब से वो ट्रुथ बदलेगा फिर
नहीं बदलेगा. If you are asking about the spiritual truth, there is always one. And if you are asking about the relative truth, that also will not change. Because you see, when you will tell something, suppose somebody is coming and asking me whether you have a mobile phone, then I understand. I may be a knower of Brahman. I know that this mobile phone is not permanent, it is not real. But when somebody, if he is asking, I know what he means by mobile phone. So I will say yes, it is there. You see, because I understand what he means by mobile phone. So even if your understanding, spiritual understanding grows, you will not tell what we call a lie. It is impossible to tell a lie, particularly if your spiritual realization grows. Why? People tell lie for selfish purposes. And a person who goes nearer to God or the reality becomes more and more unselfish. So it is not possible to tell lie. And there is so that you hear so many things that there is no black and white in truth and lie. There are so many shades of grey and all. This is all absolutely rubbish. In truthfulness, there is no shade of grey. There is black and white, truth and lie. That's all. People who tell all these things, you please see their lives and you will understand why they say all these things. These are people who are corrupt people, who are untruthful people, who are unscrupulous people, who don't want to practice any spirituality or something, who are immersed in worldliness. To justify their worldliness, to justify their actions, they say that no truth, you see, so you should not tell the truth to everybody. There is another thing in truthfulness, that suppose you are suffering from some weakness, suppose you are not able to do something. As we say in Hindi, you don't go about beating dindora that I can't do that. That is foolishness. But at the same time, if somebody asks you, then you say, yes, I have this problem. Similarly, you know that somebody has some problem. You don't go, some people have this, they are scandal mongers, they just wait for something and they come to know about something, they immediately say, oh, you know, that person this. The whole day is spent in this. You don't do that. Why? First of all, it is a waste of time, that is why. And that itself is a good reason. And second is, you are not going to achieve anything out of that. But that does not mean that you are not saying the truth. Somebody comes and asks you, oh, do you know whether such a person does that? Said, yes, I have heard or I have seen or I know because of these things. So truthfulness is something very important. And if you can follow truthfulness, irrespective of whatever the condition may be, whatever factor may be, then you will be very easily and very quickly taken to the ultimate goal. It is one of the very effective practices and fast practices. If you practice truthfulness for so many years, you will understand the change in your life. It is so easy. It is not at all difficult. But you should be able to hold on to truthfulness. In Puranas, we have this Harishchandra's this story and all that. But all these stories have been given to show that it is difficult, but at the same time, there we have the positive lesson also, that at the end of the day, you can attain the highest reality. So Sri Ramakrishna, he takes some opium and then he is not able to go because he has not asked the permission. You may say that, oh, these are all overdoing and all that. I don't know about that. Sri Ramakrishna was truth himself, or he is truth himself, but in our understanding of truth, we have to follow truth. Whatever we think is truth, we should follow. This is how we have to start in practicing truthfulness. What I understand to be truth, I should follow. So Sri Ramakrishna thought that without telling that person, if I take this opium, that is untruthfulness. So his body started moving and he started feeling giddy and all that. He went to different direction, all these things, because he believed that that is truthfulness. So similarly, whatever we believe, every one of us knows what is truth and we just follow that. That is truthfulness. And once you do that, then if you do japa, that will be more effective. If you do puja, it will be more effective. you study some scripture, it will be more effective. Why is it so? Because all this is about the ultimate truth, the absolute truth. And you cannot think of truth by practicing untruthfulness. So a person who is a diabetic constantly eats high carbohydrate, high glucose foods, and then morning some shots of insulin, some units of insulin, and evening some units of insulin will not make that person healthy, because you are at the same time taking in forces which are against, which will increase your diabetes, and at the same time you are trying to prevent it. That is what we are doing. On the one hand, we are following untruthfulness, which is taking us away from our true personality, reality. And on the other, we are trying to do japa or trying to meditate, etc. And is there any way where we can practice truthfulness, sometimes we have to see the situation and act on that? All these are rubbish. That is the truth. All these are rubbish. If somebody says, no, you have to live in the world, so you have to do, that person is also talking rubbish. Nothing of that sort is there. Because you see, as far as I understand, Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi was the most practical person. Never in her teachings you will see that she says that you practice untruthfulness. She tells so many things about work. She says that you give responsibility to each person in your family and stand apart and see whether they are doing those responsibilities, etc. Try to involve everybody, keep everybody in good humor. All these things she says, but never she says that you should practice untruthfulness or you should tell a lie, etc. No. So, speaking a lie, every time you tell a lie, it takes you away and away from your spiritual practice, your goal. And if you do say 10,000 japas or you do 1 lakh japa, by one lie in one fraction of a moment, all the effect of all the japa is removed. Why? Because you are speaking truthfulness, because untruthful thing. You are going away from truthfulness. Why? Because when we are speaking a lie, it is not that just we are giving some wrong statement of fact. It is not that. Every time we speak a lie, we go against what we believe, and that hurts our belief. So if I believe in Sri Ramakrishna, constantly I speak lie, then my belief in Sri Ramakrishna also will be diluted. It is not possible, simply not possible, that you can go on telling lies and you will have belief also in some God. It is not possible. Because what you believe, you have constantly negated. No, this is that, this is that. And there is another practical reason also. If you speak the truth, you don't need to have a great memory power. People who speak lie, they need lot of memory power. To whom, kisko kya bola hai? What have I said? To whom? But you don't need to have that kind of memory power if you speak the truth. And truthfulness is very important. And when you become truthful, when you start speaking truthful, then whatever you utter, if for 12 years you practice truthfulness, whatever you utter becomes true. And this is everybody can practice and find out for themselves. It's so simple. You practice truthfulness for 12 years, whatever you utter, even in a joke or not joke, because joke also will then become not truthful. Of course, you can, for entertainment purposes, you can tell jokes, but then we know the incident of Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda ji, Rakhal Maharaj, when Sri Ramakrishna said that you should not tell untruth even for joking purposes. So even in jest you should not tell untruth. So, but when you start speaking truth, what happens? Whatever you speak becomes true. Then whatever you pray becomes true. Whatever you think becomes true. In Indian tradition, the idea is the Guru will say, Tattvamasi, you are that. And immediately the disciple will get the realization, Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman or consciousness. That is what supposed to happen. It doesn't happen. Why? Because this person does not have these preliminary qualification. Sadhana chatushtaya. Viveka, Vairagya and Shama, Adi, Shatka, Sampatti and Mumukshutva. So Shama, Dama, etc. Those qualities are there. 6 qualities. And Mumukshutva, the intense desire for liberation. So these are not there. And in those qualities, a very important quality is truthfulness. So the moment you listen to something, you immediately understand, oh, this is what it means. How do you understand? By constantly speaking the truth. And if you are constantly speaking untruth, Swamiji says that a person who does evil works kind of attracts evil things. So a murderer will constantly be going to places automatically, to places where murder will take place or where the person will be involved in some murder. A good person who does good actions will attract good things. So similarly, when you constantly speak truth, you attract truthfulness. You attract truthfulness. So when you pray, it will become truthful. You say, this should be my last birth. Then it will be your last birth. It is very simple. You say that I don't want this worldly bondage. You will not get that worldly bondage. But what we do, we don't do this. If, for example, if you have to do puja, worship, what do we do in the beginning? What do we do? Suppose you have to conduct a puja in the house. What do we do?
First cleaning of that area.
First you clean the area. You clean the area and then you ensure that the area is looking good and smells good, and then you bring all kinds of statue or photos, and then you bring all the things which are necessary for doing the puja. Then you bring flowers, etc. First thing is you have to clean the area. How do you clean the mind? By being truthful. There is no other way. And if somebody says there is some other way, that person does not know anything about spirituality. That is the only way you can clean the mind. And that is why Sri Ramakrishna again and again says that truthfulness is so important. And once you clean the mind, then everything is simple. Everything is like glass, clear as glass, no problem. But most of us, we don't do the basic thing. Without cleaning just imagine you are doing worship without cleaning the place. Say there is some bad smell coming. Can a person sit in a place where there is some foul smell and do puja? No. You will always be thinking of that foul smell. Even when we eat, what do? We first have the place cleaned. We want to cook or eat in a place which is clean. And why do we do so much decoration of the food? Food, when it goes inside up to this, then when it comes out, it is not so good to look at. So why do we do that so much food decoration? Because that helps the enzymes or the digestive juices to secrete. So that gives us idea to the mind. It's only purely mental. It has got nothing to do with physical thing. So that mental thing affects our physical digestive system. Directly it doesn't. So that is why we make it look good and tasty, that flavor, good smell, and then we eat the food. Similarly, if a food is prepared in a way it doesn't look good, doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good, what will you have? You will have indigestion. You cannot digest that food. So similarly, if you practice spirituality or any kind of spiritual practices on a mind which is not truthful, having a mind as ground which is not truthful, which is not purified by truthfulness, nothing will come of that. So that is one reason that many people, they keep on doing spiritual practices, but we don't see any change in their lives. They have all these things. I went to all 12 Jyotirlingas I have seen. I went to Kailash, I went to Chardham, I have seen this, I have seen that, and I do morning puja, I give so much charity to so many people. I do this part, that Ramayan part, Bhagavat part, Chandi part, whatever part they do, at the end of the day, if they are untruthful, nothing will be effective. Nothing will be effective. So, first thing we should do in our life is practice truthfulness. And when should we start practicing truthfulness? Anytime, 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 any day. And truthfulness, how? It should be totally, if I can use the word, ruthless truthfulness. Again, Holy Mother says that you don't go and tell somebody, you know that a person is suffering from disease and that has got no cure. You don't go and tell that person, aap to marne wale ho. That is not truthfulness. That is very cruel. But you practice truthfulness. You know this and you believe. When somebody asks, will that person survive? You say, no, it is not possible. Or you put it in a language which is not hurtful. That's all. But you have to be truthful. You have to be truthful. And this is a very important practice. That is why all the acharyas, all the people, and Swami Vivekananda, Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, everybody have stressed on this. And this is exactly the problem of our society today. Nobody practices truthfulness. In families, in schools, in offices, in all institutions, people are taught how to tell lies. That's what they are taught. They are systematically taught to speak lies. And why? And what is the other thing? When you speak lie, it is very easy for you to confuse yourself and others also. So I am not having a good, I am not able to follow, say, many things, many things I should follow. Maybe I am a student, I am not able to study properly. But what will I say? I will say, ना, मैं पढ़ता हूँ ना, मैं 6 घंटे पढ़ता हूँ. But if you do some calculation, there will be no 6 घंटा. But you will say, मैं 6 घंटे पढ़ता हूँ ना. Then there is a untruthfulness very common among professionals like lawyers, doctors, etc. What is that? Somebody knows about something new. Because these IT, law, and what is this, medicine, all this needs constant updating of knowledge. Updating of knowledge. Compared to other subjects, other fields, these fields need constant updating of knowledge. So somebody asks, oh, do you know this? Immediately, without losing a fraction of a second, they will say, yes, I know. They have never heard of that medicine. They have never heard of that system of treatment, but they will immediately say, yes, I know. You ask a lawyer, oh, aapko ye pata hai this case? Oh, yes, I know that case. They don't know anything. They don't know about the book, nothing. Academics, this happens a lot. It is intellectual dishonesty, but dishonesty is dishonesty, whatever intellectual or otherwise. So this happens. And by doing this, they try to create a big idea, scientists, that they have done so much work. And today, unfortunately, particularly in India, there are so many scientists, so many professors who know nothing about what they are talking, but still they, without reading books, they can give big presentations, seminars, workshops. Without even understanding anything, they can say. So there are so many professors who can give you wonderful workshops on Hamlet. Hamlet is Shakespeare, they are supposed to read, but I know of many professors who have never touched Hamlet. But how do? They go to internet and they go to this site, that site, take this, copy, paste, and wonderfully we do this Prabuddha Varta editing here. And every time many big people send articles, we see it's all copy, paste, cut, taken from here and there and put. So as they say, अगर एक जगह से चोरी करें तो चोरी और बहुत जगह से करें तो research. So this is untruthfulness, and because of this, India is suffering a lot. You see, you go to any European country or in USA, you will see plenty of Indians in scientific establishments, but very few you will see in the lead. Very few. There is a language called principal investigator, etc. That is what they call the person who is leading a project. You will not see Indians in that position. Why? Because most of them are untruthful. That is why. And though we have a long heritage of spirituality and all, the reality is we are untruthful, we don't keep up our word, and so we don't perform, and then we have to make it all worse. We have this chalta hai attitude, manage ho jayega, kar lenge. So even in worldly life, even in so-called material life, and of course in spiritual life, what we need is truthfulness, and this is very important to control the mind, because the mind then knows that what we are talking about. The spiritual practice, the basic rock foundation of spiritual practice is truthfulness. ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्।